Long gone are the days of waiting to be seen in a doctor's office only to have that awkward conversation with your healthcare provider. Wisp gives you access to sexual and reproductive healthcare from the comfort of your home. Get treatment for BV, yeast infections, UTIs, and much more delivered directly to your home or ready for pickup at your local pharmacy in less than 3 hours. The best part? Wisp is discreet, convenient, and you don't need medical insurance to receive care or prescription medication. Visit us today at hellowisp.com.
Every time a child does want to play, you remove that first step of freedom. They have to come to me in order to be able to play. So if you want your child to leave you alone for a few minutes, cut yourself out of the equation.
Welcome to the No Guilt Mom podcast. I'm your host, Joanne Crone, joined here by the brilliant Brie Tucker.
Wow, hello, Brie. How are you?
I'm using brilliant Brie forever because the bruh. I just can't get over it. It's like, bruh. Oh, bruh. Hey, bruh.
It works well. It does. I'm trying to think of any. Brilliant does the best. Yeah.
You're
Brilliant.
my bruh. Just like our kids call us, bruh.
Oh
Hey,
my
bruh.
gosh. Yeah. I don't like that. That is not. No, that is nails on
I
chalkboard
just call him
for me.
bruh back. I call him bruh back. It's the brilliance of having tweens and teens. You can just joke with them right back and they get you. But today, this is something that a lot of our community members have told us about, is getting their kids to play by themselves, getting them kids to play independently. This is something that I had trouble with when my kids were little too, like just getting them to do something on their own without my assistance.
So that you can, shower. So that you can, take up a hobby.
Or like work.
Yes.
So many work from home.
Oh, we were just talking about this yesterday. You had like pictures you showed me on your phone of when you used to try to do yoga when your son was little and how he would literally sit on top of you.
Literally sit on top of me.
And you're like, just give me 20 minutes, God, please.
He still literally almost sits on top of me. Like he's 11 now and I have a couch here in my office and he'll just come in like when I'm working and I'm trying to concentrate on. He's like, hey, Mom, I really like this show on TV, Mom. And I had this do this whole conversation when I'm trying to it's a problem, but I love having kids. But there's the give and the take. But
this is a struggle.
Our guest today has so many great solutions for you if you have this problem yourself. And she's just a fun and lovely human being. She is Myriam Sandler and the creator of Motherhood, which is a beloved kids activity and family lifestyle community trusted by millions of families. As a mother of 3, Myriam shares engaging, easy to follow video tutorials that offer accessible DIY play ideas, parenting hacks, which we all need, family travel tips, which, oh my gosh, I'm going to talk about one of hers that I saw on her Instagram with her right after this, and more. And now she has her first book dropping today, which is Playful by Design, your stress-free guide to raising confident, creative kids through independent play. And we are so excited to chat with her. And let's get on with the show.
You want mom life to be easier. That's our goal too. Our mission is to raise more self-sufficient and independent kids, and we're going to have fun doing it. We're going to help you delegate and step back. Each episode will tackle strategies for positive discipline, making our kids more responsible and making our lives better in the process. Welcome to the No Guilt Mom podcast.
Welcome to the show, Myriam. We are so excited to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me. I absolutely love your energy, and it's what every parent needs, energy. So thank you.
Oh my God, yes. I like to take my energy in the form of liquid. Iced espresso. I moved from like a very milkshakey coffee when my kids were little into iced espresso now.
Brie, I am converting you. We are going to have you on black cold brew any day now.
You guys, I need to know how old your kids are because I'm not there yet and I'm worried now.
No, it's just the years and years of it has. And then you throw in a little perimenopause when you're in your late 40s and it's done.
Done.
Energy
it's
out like a balloon.
Something to look forward to then. I'm excited.
Yeah.
So I wanna though like be the counter to this. I still have a lot of energy. Like I only drink 1 cup of coffee a day, and that's just because I like the taste of my black cold
Yes,
brew.
I like the
Oh,
taste too.
same. I only do
Yeah.
one, but you know me. I lose my
It's a
energy if I
big
don't have it.
one.
Yeah, it is a big one. Yeah.
It's a big one.
I love it.
I was looking at your Instagram and devouring everything of it yesterday. And I have 2 nephews who are actually 5. One is my sister's child, and one is actually my brother in law's kid. And you were on a plane with your kids with
Yes.
screen free activities. And I want to buy all of those activities for my nephews, like
Yes.
stat. Like some of the things, Brie, like the
Uh-huh.
foil art, Myriam. I had no idea foil art existed.
And
like
it's
that.
so fun. I watch my kids do it, and I'm sitting next to them like, can I have a turn? Can I have a turn? Please, please, can I have a turn? It's so fun.
I would do it too. This is what I had to really stop at. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to buy my nephew this. The stickers that only stick to certain things because
Oh,
he is a sticker
yes.
boy and he
Oh,
will stick it
yes.
everywhere.
Yes.
Do you remember color forms from when we were little, Joanne?
No,
No? Okay.
I don't think I got them.
I'm not that much older than you, but my older sisters make me like I had hand-me-down stuff. So
Yes.
color forms were those little stickers, like laminated booklet, and you had little stickers that you could take on and take off. So like I had like a My
Oh.
Little Pony color form play set. And like
That
all
is
the
so
good
cute.
stuff.
Like a sticker collection. That's so cute.
Yeah, we moved from Maryland to Missouri and we drove. And I just remember all the non-screen stuff back in the 1983 era.
The interesting thing about that is that, like, I prefer screens. Not gonna lie to you. When I'm traveling and I'm outside the home, I want to like hand something over and be like, you do you, and I'll do me.
Yeah.
Except screens overstimulate my children more than anything. So they will watch, let's say for like a good 5 minutes, and I'm on my show sitting in the corner, like watching. And then after 5 minutes, they're jumping up and down. And then it took me a while to realize what was happening. And so I did a lot of research, and we travel a lot with our family. So I test a lot of products to see what could give them the same amount of entertainment without the overstimulation. And so I've been able to curate all of these really fun activities and toys for myself and share it on Motherhood on my online community for other parents to also be like, this is a guaranteed yes. So I think that's what a lot of people like it.
I love that because, you know, there's nothing inherently bad about screens. They get a
Correct.
really bad rap. But you're also right that kids, if you're having them sit in an airplane and you're giving like a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old screen, they are going to get overstimulated. For instance, my sister tells me stories about my nephew watching something like Marvel, and all of a sudden he's Hulk smashing everybody.
Yeah.
And like,
Correct. It is true. So imagine that, but now in a tube that nobody can get out of.
Exactly.
Oh my God. It's a recipe for disaster.
And they're not trying
No.
to make everything
No.
difficult. They just
Correct.
have this energy and they don't know what to do with it.
Correct.
And then we're stuck feeling like everybody is judging us,
Correct.
going, what a terrible parent. Look
Yes.
at what their kids do,
Yes.
because you know that there are some people that have going through their head the laundry list of problems with you as a parent, right?
That's
Like,
right.
oh, well,
Correct.
you don't spend enough time
F
with your kids.
them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agree.
Whatever
Agree
it is.
100%. And a lot of times, even though we're like F them, that pressure of like us
It does.
thinking about what they're thinking
Mhm.
adds a lot of pressure to a circumstance that doesn't need to have extra pressure. So
Exactly.
I always tell parents, set yourself up for success no matter what you're doing. So in Playful by Design, my new book, which I'm very excited
which
about.
you're so excited about. It's beautiful.
Thank you. It is.
It's beautiful.
It's very, very nice. It's Playful by Design. It had to be beautiful. I focus a lot about play in the home, but there is a chapter about play outside the home and how you can incorporate that to make everyone in life a bit easier and a little bit more fun. So
It's not just the play outside the home that we need to keep kids occupied with. It's the play inside the home.
Correct.
The stuff where like we're trying to get stuff done. Because
Correct.
also said nephew, who I will not say his name to protect him in the future,
The nephew that you love to pieces.
I love him and I adore him, and he's so high energy. My sister's a paramedic at a hospital. Her partner works as well, and they get home and they're just so tired. And said nephew has thrown rocks across the living room and broken one of their TVs because he's just playing. He's high energy.
Yeah.
He has flushed Hot Wheels down their toilet, and he's
Yeah.
had to get like their whole toilet replaced. And it's
Yeah.
not that they weren't watching him. It's like one little second they turn away to do something else, and the high energy kid
Yes.
goes and occupies himself.
Yes.
So this independent play is so like such a pain point for so many parents
Yes.
out there.
Yes.
And we're going to get into your tips, Myriam, right
Yes.
after this. Here at No Guilt Mom, we talk about the constant sacrifice that mothers make, always doing stuff for others. I saw it growing up in my house where my mom was at the very last of her list. And when she finally did get the chance to rest, she collapsed. And I just want to make sure that you have a happy Mother's Day season. And there is a book called Long Live Moms, which is a reminder we all need that we must take care of ourselves too. So listen to this part. But wise are moms who pause, who see that caring starts with caring for me. A body strong, a breath drawn deep, a heart that beats, a soul to keep. The years move fast, yet love remains, a bond unbroken thread through veins. It is such a beautiful message. If you didn't know, Function Health is the all-in-one health platform that helps you take control of your health through data. So instead of guessing what's happening inside your body, Function helps you know for sure, providing access to 100+ advanced lab tests. Function Health is the best way to care for you so that you can continue to care for them. So download Long Live Moms for free today at functionhealth.com/no guilt and learn more about Function Health can help you take better care of you. So get Function Health's Long Live Moms book for free at functionhealth.com/no guilt. That's functionhealth.com/no guilt.
This episode is brought to you by Heyday. Feeling stressed? Take a moment for yourself with Heyday. Stroll through rows of golden wheat, tend to cute barnyard animals, and discover the joys of a digital farm retreat. You don't have to hop in a car or catch a plane. Escape to the farm at the tap of a finger. With Heyday, you're not just tending to a farm, you're tending to yourself. Heyday. Search Heyday, that's Hay space DAY, in your favorite app store. Heyday is a free-to-play mobile game and offers optional in-app purchases and random rewards.
USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks, or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Visit USAA.com/bundle. Bundle savings are off total premium, not available in all states or in all situations. To qualify, auto policy must be active prior to property policy issue, subject to change. Restrictions apply. Membership eligibility and product restrictions apply and are subject to change. USAA means United Services Automobile Association and its affiliates, San Antonio, Texas.
So, Myriam, one of the big things that parents have trouble with is getting their kids to play by themselves. Like even all ages of kids.
Yeah.
I have trouble now with my 11-year-old just doing something on his own without coming in and wrecking my focus if I'm working, for instance.
Yeah.
So like when you're first trying to introduce independent play to your kids, what are the first practical steps that parents can take if they're right now in this phase of constant interaction and constant entertainment of their kids?
So one of the biggest misconceptions about me is that I play with my kids all day because I share kids' activities online.
Yeah.
And that's when I knew that I needed to write this book, because it's not that I play with my kids all day. It's that my kids play all day.
Yeah.
I have 3 kids. I work from home full time. I have a husband, extended family. I have to clean. I have to cook, like all of us, right?
Mhm.
So that illusion of, oh my God, she's the perfect mom. She plays with her kids all day and probably has a million people helping her do the rest of the things. That isn't true. So in order to get our kids to play independently, we need to create space that they feel the freedom to do so.
Yes.
So there is 2 very important things about this. One is access and 2 is visuals. So a lot of the times when our kids take a scissor and they cut their hair and we freak out, that might have been their first interaction with a scissor that they found hidden somewhere.
Yep.
In my case, I recommend to parents, leave the scissors as part of their art table. Leave the scissors as part of your home and teach your child from when they're babies, from when they're toddlers, to respect the tools that they have. So a lot of people, when I show my art table, they're like, Sharpies? I don't understand. They're like, I don't understand what's happening. And I was like, my kids are not going to color on the wall. They're just not going to color on the wall because they understand that the Sharpies and the markers and the crayons are all in the same, and they're all meant as writing tools or coloring tools for paper. So it's setting up yourself for success from the get-go. Let's say now you have a 5-year-old who hasn't been introduced to these items. It's never too late to start, right? You start creating space for them to freely explore and creating boundaries around these items. So like you gave an example of putting a Hot Wheels car in a toilet. That's when you start setting up your boundary. Maybe in that opportunity, he's trying to get attention, trying to explore his surroundings, experimenting with what would happen.
Yeah.
That's natural.
Like, I wonder what would happen if I flushed the toilet with this car in it.
Correct. That is natural for a child. That child is not being a bad kid. That is a natural instinct of wanting to explore. So imagine if we set up spaces in the home for this particular child with this particular interest that allow him to do that. Maybe it's a corner of science experiments with safe items that are okay for him to do on his own.
Yeah.
Maybe it's an art table for him to express himself creatively. My 10-year-old loves to do costume makeup. So we bought her a makeup vanity and I got her a bunch of face paint. And she comes home from school. Instead of going to the TV, she goes to her makeup desk and she creates different makeup looks. So it's trying to find what works for you, what works for your family and your dynamics. And one thing I did in Playful by Design is that instead of giving you like a step-by-step, like you must do this, 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 and this in order to get this golden child of independent play, it's a lot of lists of questions.
Yeah.
And I really want you to ask yourself, answer them for you and your family to then go on to step 2. So it's still step by step, but it's more tailored to your experience, to your family dynamics, and to your evolution of your family. Because if you buy the book today and you have one child, but then all of a sudden you have 2 children, and then you're like, how do I make my space work for 2, so on and so forth. So yeah, that's how you get to independent play.
Yes, creating like this personalized space and like something that I really, really noticed that is different in your approach than is like common like parenting knowledge out there right now. So many parents are restricting screen time from their kids, saying that, oh, you can only spend 20 minutes there and then you have to go find something else to do. Where in that go find something else to do, it's like we're taught boredom is good, but it's like, what do they do? And what you're saying is to really notice your child, see what they're interested in, and set up spaces in things that they do like to do so that they go and have something that they can play with.
You're correct. And I really am a big believer that technology is a part of us and it's only getting stronger in our society. So to make it a bad fruit or make it something prohibited can actually be very detrimental for all of us in the future. That doesn't mean I'm going to give my 9-year-old a cell phone and access to Instagram, right?
Yeah,
like there are many, many, many layers to this boundary. But the TV, for example, I am the controller of the TV contents. So I can block YouTube, I can block certain things from the television and allow my kids free reign. So my kids, when they have free reign to the television, if they want to watch now or they want to watch later or they want to watch a movie, doesn't matter when or what, I've given them other options within our home that they are really interested in, that they really enjoy. So that way it's their choice. It's not, you can only watch 5 minutes if you eat all of your broccoli.
It's not the forbidden fruit.
Yes,
right?
It's not the forbidden fruit. But that's very hard to do if there are no other options. And you might be listening or watching this and being like, but they have so many toys. They have so many options. And that's when it becomes complicated, because I feel like as a society, we feel like more is more. But in this scenario, less is way more. It's not the fact that we're depriving our children of giving them less toys. It's giving them access to the toys they do have. So when you think about decluttering or purging or giving away some of your kids' toys, you might think in your head like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm taking away all of these items. You're actually giving them access to see what they have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal.
Because everybody
is a
gets
big
like
deal.
that, Joanne.
Yes.
We talk about this a lot, like the decision fatigue.
Yes.
There's just overwhelm. And it even happens to kids.
It happens to kids. I always give the example, like if you go to a beautiful department store, on the mannequin, they have like a beautiful dress and you're like, oh my God, that's the perfect dress for the event that I want to go to. But if that dress was in a rack with other 50 beautiful dresses, the chances of you seeing that dress and trying it on are much less. You might actually see 50 dresses on a rack and walk away when that would have been your missed opportunity to get the dress of your dreams. So the same thing happens with kids. Like I'm a big proponent of open shelving, and parents are like, I don't understand. Open shelving is a show. Pardon my French. They're like, I don't, you can see everything. It looks terrible. And I'm like, if you have 100 things on one shelf, it looks very bad.
Yeah.
But if you have 5, it looks really, it looks like a toy store. And I get that all the time. People are like, oh my God, your playroom looks like a toy store. I'm like, thank you. Actually, I've worked very hard on that.
It's a very curated environment.
Yes,
is what
it
I'm
is.
saying. Because what you say about department stores, I've had that feeling too. Like I don't go shopping actually because of that whole overwhelm environment where everything, like I have to dig through. I don't enjoy that whatsoever.
Same.
I just want that curated environment. And it's no wonder that kids don't want that curated environment as well. Now, something that you said that was really, really interesting and that I bet a lot of our listeners have picked up on as well is we mentioned boundaries at the beginning and teaching kids how to have those boundaries.
Yes.
I have some very, very strong opinions on that from being a teacher.
Yes. I would love to hear them, please.
We're going to get into right after this.
Hilton brings you new ways to stay with experiences that let you capture the glory days. Introducing the Graduate Hotels. Each inspired by local college towns, these stays are always original and never boring. Get in touch with traditions all across the country and enjoy a stay that's a class above the rest. Book at Graduate Hotels with Hilton Honors Points at Hilton.com. It's a win-win. Hilton, for the stay.
Brace the rudders! Raise the sails! Raise the sails!
Captain, an unidentified ship is approaching. Over.
Roger. Wait, is that an enterprise sales solution?
Reach sales professionals, not professional sailors. With LinkedIn ads, you can target the right people by industry, job title, and more. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next campaign. Get started today at linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply.
Hi, this is Javon, your Blinds.com design consultant.
Oh, wow. A real person.
Yep. I'm here to help with everything from selecting the perfect window treatments to...
Well, I've got a complicated project.
No problem. I can even help schedule a professional measure and install. We can also send you samples fast and free.
I just might have to do more.
Whatever you need.
So the first room we're looking at is for
Shop Blinds.com now and get up to 50% off with minimum purchase. Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply.
From being a teacher, Myriam, I learned how to introduce things to kids in a way that kids would actually be like kind of in a managed control environment without respectful without me being in charge all the time. I think that is a training that is given to teachers. It's actually a class I have to take called classroom management. And it's not anything that's taught to parents.
Yes.
So I want to go into a little bit with you when you're like introducing, say, something very, very messy, like an art table with Sharpies.
Yes.
What's the process that you go through when you're first putting this out for your kids?
Yeah,
and
tell
you're
us.
Teaching them these boundaries.
Yes.
How did you keep them from drawing on the walls? Tell us.
Yes.
So The difference between teachers and parents is that parents have mom guilt.
Yes, they
So-
do.
So
I often say, like, it was so much easier with a classroom of 35
Correct.
students than at home with my own child.
Correct. Because you feel that guilt of I'm doing something for myself that I'm not doing with my child, or I'm not giving them enough. It's never enough. When that mentality, I feel like, has shifted from our parents' generation to ours. From one generation to the other, our parents were content. And for us, it's this newfound mom guilt, parenting guilt, which is
It's
huge.
this whole evolution that's gone through. Yeah.
100%. So when I introduce something, I don't actually introduce it. It's always been there from the get-go. So if I'm setting up an art area and you've never done this before, your child is 8 years old, not 8, they're not going to draw on the wall. If you have a 4 or 5 year old,
Yeah, the 4 or 5 year olds were drawn on the
4 or
wall
5 year olds,
right away.
sweet spots.
Yeah.
So if this is your first time setting up an art table, you're not going to start with the Sharpies, okay? You're going to start you're going to start with the most washable markers on the market. And you're not going to teach them the difference between a washable marker and a Sharpie. You're just going to show them what that tool is meant to do. So if your child explores the first few times and draws on the wall, you just take a little Windex and wipe it down. Not a big deal. And that's when you start to create your boundaries. I understand you're very creative. You wanted to explore, but the markers are meant to write on paper. So they're going to go away for a little bit. And then we'll introduce them again when you feel you are ready to use them on paper. So it's incorporating the boundaries and incorporating the consequences. The biggest thing with parents and mom guilt is following through. That is the problem. That will be like, if you draw on the wall one more time, I'm going to take them away. And
throw
then
them all out.
Throw them all, exactly. Throw them all. But you don't take them away and you don't throw them all out.
And then you feel bad. And then they think you threw them away and then you bring it back later and they're like, wait a minute.
Exactly.
I have one extra trick that I want to add into this, like, little arsenal that I used as a teacher. Because a lot of times I feel like, you know, the way that we were taught to deal with these things as kids, like our parents would make those things like, oh, you are not responsible enough for this. It is going away and we are never seeing them whatsoever. Like, that's how we were raised. That's why we do it to our kids.
Yes.
Something that I do, like, with my nephew, the redirection is real.
Yes.
And for those people who are listening, redirection is just something where they're doing something and you don't like say them it's not appropriate or you don't say it's bad, but you just redirect them to another thing.
Yes.
So if they're, for instance, writing on the walls, one of the tricks I would use is like, oh my gosh, like, we cannot write on the walls. Here, help me clean this up.
Yes.
And they will clean it up. And I'm like, you know what we can do though? We could put paper, like butcher paper, on the wall. And that's the way we can write on the wall. Do you want to write on the wall like that? And they'd be like, yeah.
Yes.
And then they're all writing on the butcher paper on the wall and they get to have their big designs and everything like that.
I love that.
So like finding that redirection to something, like you said, Myriam, it's an interest they have. They want a bigger canvas.
That's right. You are correct.
And create that canvas.
Yes, it's feeding into what they're actually interested in. And as parents, that is really hard to do when we're taking care of our homes and that we're trying to do so many things, trying to keep an organized home. And all of a sudden your child has written all over their dresser. Like, that is a moment of stress. That isn't a moment of like, honey, I know you're doing so good. No, that's not.
That's the moment where you go out to your car.
That's
and
right.
Turn on the radio.
That's
and you
right.
Calm down.
That's right.
You are
Correct.
right. There are so many different levels of that. That's something that I need to do a better job of realizing, like, as a parent. The amount of shit shows I saw as a teacher were ridiculous.
Oh, I can't imagine.
I mean, there's just horrible, horrible messes and things that happen. So I think when I saw them in parenting, I'm like, we're okay. Somebody's not throwing a desk across the room or is like threatened to knife someone. Yes,
we're doing great.
It is all perspective, and that stress, wherever you feel it, it is real.
Yes,
it is real to you, and it needs to be validated. So I don't mean to invalidate anyone's stress whatsoever in that moment.
Agree. And that's the thing, like, even if our child is not writing on the wall, they're throwing a tantrum.
Oh,
They're screaming in the middle of the airport.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard. It's hard to manage. And I think once you have the tools in place to do so, everything is a little bit easier. Setting yourself up for success. It's having that snack pack ready to go in the moment where they're having that big tantrum. It's like, do you want a snack? So let's go in the corner, sit down, and try to calm down. If not, then you just carry them like your linebacker, right? And then you go in the corner and you have a snack. Imagine showing up to the airport and being like, it's going to be a great day. No snacks, no activities, and no tablet, no nothing. Like that's guarantee failure. Like guarantee.
Oh yeah,
you're
that's
like,
a guarantee.
it's gonna be 30 minutes, and then all of a sudden you're delayed 3 hours.
Yeah.
And you're on the airplane for 2 more hours because the air doesn't work. And like there's so many things that can
you
happen.
Can't control.
You
right?
can't control. Agree. In the home, the same thing happens. I actually posted a video recently that was like, you know, that trend that was like, she doesn't know it yet, but blah, 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 blah.
Yes.
I basically took that audio and it was my toddler like happily going towards, I created this little nook in her family room where you can't really see the toys because it's a beautiful space for adults, but the toys are there if she wants to go get them. They're in a little corner that she knows that are there. She doesn't have to like open a chest or like do backflips to get to them. So it's her running past the TV to get to her toys.
Aww.
And it was like, guys, there's a way. We just have to give kids the opportunity to do so. One of my favorite things about families is that they're like, I finally bought my dream home and I have a playroom and I can't believe it. We're going to have all of the toys in the playroom.
Oh man,
like,
it's a pipe dream.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we've all been there once or
Oh,
twice.
been
right?
there. Literally, day one, they go to the playroom where the toys live and they bring them to the living room.
Because that's where you are.
They correct. But that concept is not so easy to understand. That concept of why are they taking the toys from their space to other spaces is very hard. So I love creating play hotspots. Play hotspots are where you are going to be. So I love to sleep in. I literally have a little shelf in my bedroom that has a few toys so that if my kid wants to be with me while I'm still sleeping, fabuloso. Come, you are welcome while I still sleep. And the same thing happens in the living room, and the same thing happens in the family room, and in the family room is next to the kitchen, which I spend a lot of time in, as you know. So that's what I recommend to parents is, great, finally you have a playroom, but there's only one chapter in Playful by Design where it has playrooms. The rest are bedrooms, nooks, minis, outdoor spaces, all of the other possible spaces in a home, because
you're going to need it.
You're going to need it. You should create it. You should create these childhood is very short. We only have a little bit of slice of time where our kids will actually want to be with us. Let's take advantage. Let's take advantage of that. Let them play.
Yeah. It's so interesting because that is a different take on it. Just have toys in little places all around the house. I remember like when my kids were little, we had those benches in our living room that you open it up and that's where all the toys lived. But like even just having like those benches from Target were like $25, $30, put them in your bedroom, put them in everywhere. And then 100%. Kids always have a spot to play
100%.
Where you could still sleep.
That's right.
Which is
I love the cube storage systems. It's the same concept of like open shelving, but with a little bit more organization, right? Yep. The problem is that a lot of parents are like, amazing, I'm going to buy that. And then I'm going to buy the deep bins that go inside the cubes. And I'm going to make it look really aesthetically beautiful. Except I guarantee your child is going to pull that out, dump it out, and walk away. Right. Because it has way too many options, because we are trying now to have all of their toys in this little beautiful looking space.
Yeah.
So I say no bins or very shallow trays in these cubbies.
Yeah. I remember, so we had the cubbies in my daughter's room. My son had the one from like IKEA back in the day that had like the rainbow colors and the bins were open.
Yes, those are great. Yeah.
And I remember for both of them, naively, and I should know better. I should know better. Guys, come on. My background was in early childhood. That's what I did before I had my kids.
It's different. It's different.
Right?
It's
But
different.
I had them all curated, right? Okay, this is the box of your farm animals. This is the box of your My Little Ponies. You know, did it stay that way?
No.
For
Of
like
course
30
not.
seconds. And then it would
Yes.
drive me nuts that it looked messy, but they were happy. And that was the part was I had to really struggle with letting go of me wanting that Pinterest perfect look because it was back before Instagram. So it was Pinterest perfect. And realizing that they weren't going to be that way. They weren't
True.
happy that way. I wasn't happy yelling at them if they weren't keeping it that way.
Yeah.
So yeah.
True.
It was in human nature.
That's
to
right.
keep it that way.
I think
Yeah.
one of the most important things about toys and cleanup is to give each toy a home. So if I am the gatekeeper of everything in the house, like I am the gatekeeper of where the scissors live, I'm the gatekeeper of where the plates are, I'm the gatekeeper of the toys. Every time a child does want to play, you remove that first step of freedom. They have to come to me in order to be able to play. So if you want your child to leave you alone for a few minutes, cut yourself out of the equation.
Good
Yes.
point. I was going to say, what's your
Absolutely.
number one tip?
Yes.
And that sounds like that is
Yes.
right there.
Cut yourself out of the equation. And what do you mean, cut yourself out? No, cut yourself out of the equation. Go with your child and set up the space together so that you're not the only one that knows where the color pencils are or where the toy cars go or where the magnetic tiles go back. So that if they do bring the magnetic tiles to the living room and they create a beautiful structure, they can take down the structure and put it back into its place.
Yeah, that's genius. Parents, you might be a bottleneck. You
Yes.
might be a bottleneck.
Yes, 100%.
And you need to go get Myriam's book so
Thank
you
you.
see examples of these spaces that kids can go and take care of it themselves.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
So beautiful. Myriam, we know your book comes out today, but we like to ask everybody this question.
Yes.
What is something that you're excited about that's coming up for you?
Oh man, that's a hard question on my book release day.
Yeah.
I'm very excited actually about the book tour because I have an
I saw that.
online community. I don't get a lot of opportunities to meet the people that I've been talking to for years. So this is my opportunity to see people in real life, give them a hug, thank them for supporting me. And yeah, I'm very, very excited about that.
That is really exciting. There's nothing like seeing your people in person. It's just like a different dynamic.
I agree with you.
Well, that is awesome, Myriam. Thank you so much for coming on. I
you for
have
having
learned
me.
some stuff. I'm going to pass it along to my sister who has the kids in the play stage right now.
I love it.
And
love it.
We'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
So something that she mentioned a lot in this interview is access to kids. Because when she mentioned at the end about parents being the gatekeeper, I'm like, totally right. I did that. I was the gatekeeper, like especially the messy toys. Jenga didn't live downstairs with the rest of the games. Jenga was upstairs on a top shelf of a closet so that my kids couldn't create messes with it.
Well, I mean, I think we all do that. I was working in early intervention. I started that as soon as I graduated college. So, and that was in 2002, and I had my first kid in 2007. So that's 5 years of working with families and kids, and I knew all the right things, and I still tried to gatekeep stuff and all that. And I still, even though I had scissors available for my kids to play with for Play-Doh and stuff, when my daughter, I still remember clear as day, the day she found the sharp scissors in the drawer in the kitchen while I was sleeping. And then when I got up, I'm like, your hair looks a little funny. She took a chunk out of her. She took a chunk out of the dog. Out of his hair. Poor dog had like a big, like we're talking like a 4-inch chunk of his tail just gone. That dog was a patient dog. He was patient.
Dog.
My point being was it never once occurred to me to tell her that those scissors were not her scissors. Or to even tell her that those scissors were for different things. Like, it wasn't until it happened that I was like, oh, boundary needed here. And guess what I'm just trying to say is it happens to the best of us, people. happens to the best of
you
us.
can't prevent this from happening.
Yeah.
So if like something happens like this to you, you can't prevent it. You had no idea it was an issue to begin with. And when it appears as an issue, that's where you're like, oh, you're very interested in this. Let's dig into this a little bit more. Versus I am a horrible, awful mom who should have hidden those scissors better.
Or you are my kid is completely off the rails and destructive and all most of the time, like she said, it's about a curiosity. Like I remember when my kids started playing with the toilet, that's when we bought them a water table. I got like a water table at like a secondhand store for like $10, put it outside, and they never touched the toilet again.
No, it was just the interest in the water. And like, I'm sure like when my nephew flushed Hot Wheels down the toilet, it was really cool to see those Hot Wheels disappear down the drain.
Yeah, and the water goes down a hole. I mean, even to me, that sounds pretty interesting.
That sounds pretty cool, actually. I'm
45.
imagining that now, and I'm like, oh, I'm in a happy place. Just like,
I'm like, I'm 45, and I still love going to the splash pads. And if there aren't kids there, I'll play with the little toys and hit the buttons and make the water go every which way because it's fun. It's fun.
When the bucket fills on the splash pads, you get to hit the button and just go.
Yes.
See, it's all fun. It's all fun. We lose that sense of fun sometimes when we try to maintain that Pinterest perfect aesthetic. But it's also like not our fault that we're trying to maintain this Pinterest perfect aesthetic. Some research I was doing for a YouTube video that's up on the No Guilt Mom YouTube channel was like the evolution of motherhood and how in the 1980s, there was a huge shift in how much time and how much supervision that parents gave their children because of the John Walsh kidnapping thing.
Oh my
John
God,
Walsh,
yes.
America's Most Wanted.
The milk carton. Yeah.
Yeah, in the department store. So then every parent became afraid of their child getting abducted. And that's when we saw parents keeping their kids indoors, the blaming of moms in particular for not watching their kids close enough. And through that and like early 2000s, Pinterest came about with these pleasing aesthetics. So not only could we not let our kids play outdoors, but we also had to have these perfect, pleasing play areas and everything like that, which really added on to the pressure that moms face raising their kids.
Yeah.
And this whole thing of intensive mothering. And now in the 2020s, we're finally starting to talk about it and all the pressures and expectations that are put on moms that just aren't right.
How it's made all of us an anxious mess.
Yes. Yes. So it's good we're talking about these things and there's ways around it.
Yes. And I, again, like you said, I absolutely love Myriam's book. It is so cute. It has so many awesome ideas. If you're just wondering, like, some of these concepts, especially about the play hotspots, get her book. Check it out. It is a worthwhile investment, man.
So many great ideas. And until next time, remember, the best mom is a happy mom. Take care of you. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks for stopping by.
If you'd like to support the show further, you can share episodes with your loved ones, leave a positive review, or follow us on social media at No Guilt Mom. You can also show your love by visiting our amazing podcast sponsors. We have a link in the show notes.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/ARTS. Just go to Indeed.com/ARTS right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.